Hey guys, hello and welcome back. I'm Buckwsr, putting the do in a do-it-yourself. Our do-it-yourself project today is right here with this Troy-built RotoTiller. Remember guys, if the weeds are invading your flower bed, rototill the ground around the sprinkler head. Now that's a good piece of advice we can all live by. $10 to the first person who can comment on where that piece of priceless wisdom comes from. Hey, but anyway, this particular rototiller was featured in another video recently in which I showed you how to change out the gas tank, but particularly since we had gone from a 3-quart to the 2-quart gas tank, we had to shorten the pickup tube. You can check out that video if you want, but today, even though I got it running, it's not running well enough. I decided that we were going to change out the carburetor. So this is an aftermarket $20 item off of eBay or Amazon. You can get this. And I, once again, will probably have to shorten this pickup tube to fit inside this smaller gas tank, but that's no big deal. We've already been through that. And I got to make a couple other simple retrofits to get it to fit. Now, you know, sometimes you just got to wonder, because I want you to look at the other things they give you in this box. Now, this is a carburetor that mounts right on top of the fuel tank and draws its fuel directly from the tank. Yet they give me a bonus, a fuel filter, a fuel shutoff valve, and some fuel clamps. Well, maybe I can save them for another project, but there's never any instance with this particular carburetor where you would need any of those items, since we draw our fuel directly from the fuel tank. But oh well, I guess they're just trying to sweeten the deal. All right, so we did get some of these gaskets that we might need, so let's get started in removing the old carburetor. And hopefully I'll be able to show you pretty much what we need to do. Now, I've already removed the air cleaner assembly. Trust that you'll be able to figure that pretty much by yourself. But to take down the carburetor, we've got 1, 2, I think it's 3, 4 screws that have a Torx bit of some size. So I got the collection of Torx screwdrivers, and see if we can find the one that works in it. That's too big. This might do it. Nope, that's also too big. That's a T25, so I had to step it down from there. It's a T20 maybe? Yeah, I think that's going to do it. So this first one here, and these 4 screws just bolt the carburetor to the fuel tank, and there's a gasket between the carburetor and the tank. This one actually also holds down a small clamp. I'll get it. Holds down a small bracket or clamp for this this tube, the crankcase ventilation tube. So just move him out of the way. That's all we need to do there. Now this other screws here on top of the carburetor go straight through the carburetor and into the top of the fuel tank. So he comes out. That's number 2. That's the long one, or one of the long ones. Well, it's probably these others are going to be shorter for sure. All right, so we're down to we're on number 3. Might need to grab him with a pair of needle nose pliers, because it's a little tight here. Dropped them. Here's number 3. And the last one is right here. So I'm going to leave the tank in place. I don't need to drop the tank to do this, I don't think. If I do, then we'll deal with it. But I don't think I do. And once again, needle nose pliers will help grab this one. Alright, so there's 4. Okay, so next the tank is bolted to the side of the engine here, and these are either 3/8 a 3/8 socket or a larger Torx, and it's like a T30. So there's 2 of those. Got it. This one here is harder to see, and it's down lower. I can't quite get a screwdriver on that. I may be able to get it with a 3/8 wrench from in here. It's probably a decent idea to move this control assembly out of the way too, just to make our lives a little easier. So let's do that. There's only one more screw that holds that on. Again, it's a Torx T20. And by moving him out of the way, that'll just make our life a little bit easier. Alright, grab him with the pliers, and he's out. Now there's a couple of springs here, disconnect, then the arm that goes to the choke. Also here is the kill wire, which we can press this tab, pull the wire out, and this guy, control levers are moved out of the way. Alright, so now I should be able to get a 3/8 wrench onto that last remaining bolt. And finding the 3/8 wrench will be the hardest part. I got it. So this is it. This is the final fastener, and then this carburetor is completely free. Just a little bit tricky to get to it. If we were to take the tank down, then I'd have a lot easier access to this last bolt, but I'm trying to do it by leaving the tank in place. But a good rule of thumb is, if something's in your way, move it out of the way. That sometimes seems like more work, but in the end it might not be. I think I got this though. Okay, he's done, he's out. So that's all the fasteners. Now I can lift it up and bring it out of the tank. Now I still have it connected here with this throttle cable or linkage. So he comes out, and then I can free it from this linkage. or I should be able to. All right, so that's it. Yeah, this guy's very, very corroded. This stiffens up as it sits. This should move easily. It doesn't. And I just think this whole machine sat for a number of years out in the elements, and a new carburetor may just be the easiest solution. Now, I may have to do a little retrofitting because there are some differences here. So this one on the right, the new one, has a mechanism for the throttle that is almost like an arm coming from below, and this guy doesn't have that. This guy has a spring and a bracket here, which we'll have to transfer over to here, and I think those are the only differences. Plus, I'll have to shorten the pickup tube on this new carburetor because you can see they're not the same size. All right, so I'm gonna make those switches. I'll make those changes. Pause the video, and then we'll come back to install and try out the new one. All right, so the new carburetor is prepared. I moved this bracket piece over to the new carburetor. I took off that other throttle mechanism because we just bolt our throttle right up to here with this linkage right here. What else? Oh, I shortened the pickup tube to fit in the size tank that we have here, and I have a link to the other video in which I show you how I do that. It's no big deal. All right, so I'm going to attempt to get it back in place, and the tricky part is getting the linkage on and then getting the pickup tube where it goes. And I'm not sure which is going to be first, the chicken or the egg. So maybe if I stick this in here first, and then I really can't do that. So you gotta put the linkage on first. Again, this is why sometimes maybe it's easier to just simply move the tank, take the tank down, but all right, I think that's gonna be all right. I kind of bent that linkage, but we'll straighten it out. Okay, so yeah, we're back up there. Now it's just a matter of bolting the 2 bolts here, the 4 screws that go through it, and the different linkages and the cable, kill switch, and I'll do that. It's just the reverse of what you saw me do earlier, and then we'll see if we can fire it up, and hopefully it'll run a little better than it did previously. Okay, let's give it a shot. I'm going to cheat just a little bit by priming it with a little starting fluid, and I don't have the air cleaner on it just yet, but that's all right. Let's see what we can get here. All right, well, that's okay. I mean, it's much better than it was. I tweaked the, got it to run a little faster by bending this tab, so putting a little more tension on the spring so that it would pull it into, so it would run a little higher at full throttle. And yeah, it's definitely better. It's actually working pretty good here. I don't really want to till up the ground here in front of my workbench area, but it was just a test. So that's pretty good. So it wasn't a very hard job to replace that carburetor. I'm glad I did it. I think it's much more reliable now than the other one was. Well, that's it for now. I'll put the air cleaner back on. That feels pretty good. It started fairly easily. It ran pretty good. Not perfect, but certainly a lot better than it did. I hope this helps you with your projects, and the tiller lives on to garden another day. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.